Phoenix, Arizona. One night in 1931.
So Jack popped into the office yesterday, and he said that they should be here about 8:30, so...
Roommates Anne Leroy and Sammy Samuelson are in the mood to entertain.
He said he was going to bring a friend. Really? I wonder who he's bringing.
We're here.
Hello. Oh, look.
Tonight, their guests include 26-year-old Winnie Ruth Judd.
Oh, I'm Pete. Pete, this is Pete.
Oh. Hey, darling.
She was one of the young ladies around town who played a bit and became involved with some very influential political people in Arizona.
Winnie is having an affair with married businessman Jack Halloran. Jack is well connected in Phoenix and likes to mix business with pleasure.
Having a good time there, Pete? Oh, this is great.
Jack Halloran was a tall, good-looking Irish guy who could take his booze and his women in great big doses. He was also a lumberman. He owned a lumber company in town. He was on the Chamber of Commerce. He was on all the city commissions. This was a dandy man, as handsome as can be, and he liked to party.
Fun.
Well, you are very good.
But Winnie isn't the only one with eyes for Jack Halloran.
Jealousy is the most common motivator of murder.
Criminal profiler Candice DeLong has seen envy explode into homicide all too often.
Jealousy can drive people to violent extremes because it cuts them to their core and it hurts, and the only way the person can stop the pain is to destroy their rival.
The next night, Winnie pays the girls a visit.
It was a Friday night. It was a very hot Friday night, unseasonably warm. Winnie had gone over to have dinner with Anne and Sammy.
So with the cat dragged in,
Their friendship has soured.
I think we need to talk about something.
I thought I told you to stay away from Jack.
I will do whatever I want to
And
do.
you've been sleeping with him, haven't you?
They start fighting, and they're fighting over Jack. They're all jealous of Jack.
Don't
All right. You need to just leave here right now.
I mean, they were going on in this incredible verbal battle, and at that point, everything got very deadly.
How dare you? Okay, now you need to get out.
No.
Right now.
Sammy tries to shoot Winnie, and Winnie grapples with her, and they struggle, and the gun goes off.
Winnie is shot in the hand.
She grabs the gun, and in the course of that, she actually shoots Sammy.
What are you doing?
And Winnie says that she took the gun, raised it up, shot at Anne.
Oh, what have you done? No, Winnie.
And realized that her two friends were dead.
Winnie Judd has suddenly become a murderer. What happens next will brand her a monster. Phoenix, Arizona, 1931. The lives of two women have ended tonight, and the life of a third has changed forever.
Her friends are dead. At the end of a matter of 5 minutes of going in to talk to them, they're dead.
26-year-old Winnie Ruth Judd has killed her friends in an argument over a man. Now, her thoughts turn to the problem of what to do with their bodies. Union Station, Phoenix. A pretty passenger boards the train for Los Angeles.
Can I help you with this, man?
No, it's fine.
No, I'm just gonna...
No!
And she checks the luggage, adds her luggage to LA, and gets on the train. She only has a few pennies for a tip for the porter. She obviously has no money. She can barely afford the ticket to LA.
Winnie Judd has spent all night packing in a desperate attempt to conceal her crimes. She aims to dump the bodies in the Pacific Ocean.
Winnie drives on the train all day and into the next night to Los Angeles. And she gets there and the trunks are unloaded.
Her plan is about to come undone.
Oh, the smell would have been overwhelming. Now, the big thing here is that those bodies were cut up, and particularly when there is a cut through the abdomen. When a loop of bowel is severed, all the bacteria that is present in that bowel is immediately out, very rapidly. So the whole process of putrefaction and decomposition is going to proceed at a much, much more rapid rate.
These are my bags.
Mr. Johnson, sir.
Here is this trunk that's bleeding, and the bad guy thinks it's contraband deer meat.
Just need to ask you a couple of questions. Is this your luggage?
Yes.
Because apparently there was a big smuggling issue between Arizona and California in those days, and he wants the trunk open.
Can you tell me what's inside of it?
Or just personal items.
Okay, I'm gonna need to see the inside of that luggage.
Just get the keys.
Winnie knows her secret is seeping out.
Oh, my brother has them. My brother has the keys.
Is he here?
He's just at home.
Well, can we call him?
No, I'll just go and get
No, really, you need to stay here, ma'am.
She leaves, never to return.
Eventually they force open the bag,
Oh,
and he sees a woman's head.
oh my God.
Police catch Winnie Ruth Judd a week later. Convicted of murder, she's confined to a mental hospital for the next 40 years. Some believe justice has been served. Others are not so sure.
Yeah, I'm going bowling. Remember?
Paul tells his wife of 15 years he is going out with friends.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
The next time he sees Betty Jean, she will be dead.
Going bowling now, so you have a good night.
Paul Solomon has lied to his wife so he can cheat on her with 25-year-old Carolyn Warmus. The couple meet at the school where they work. Carolyn doesn't mind that Paul is married. That is part of his appeal.
She had a thing for married men, and that was who she preferred having relationships with. And Paul Solomon was not the first one, the most serious one, but not the first.
3 years earlier, she is dating another man.
He was a medical student. His name was Paul Lavin, and she dated him and had a very torrid affair, even though he was engaged.
Carolyn repeatedly got involved with men who were unavailable to her. Those are guaranteed to be unhappy relationships.
Maybe you're not what I need.
When Lavin tries to end the affair, it flicks a switch in Carolyn's mind. She changes.
And when those relationships didn't work out, which they were bound not to, she was left with hurt feelings. And when she was hurt, she would become a stalker.
She stakes out her ex-lover's house, waiting to steal him from his fiancée.
She used to send notes to Paul Lavin saying she was pregnant, and in fact she wasn't, trying to get him to be with her.
Those phone calls yesterday, that was her.
Lavin is angry. He wants Carolyn out of his life.
They had to get a restraining order against her so they can get married.
Carolyn has fought for love and lost. Next time, it will be different. New York, 1988. Carolyn Warmus has attracted another attached man, Paul Solomon. Before long, Solomon is talking of divorcing his wife and marrying Carolyn instead. He thinks she has the face of an angel. What he doesn't know is she also has a heart of darkness.
This case was every cheating husband's worst nightmare. What could be worse than to fool around and then be stalked by a crazy woman who kills people?
Treetops Lounge in Yonkers, New York, 1989. A place where couples can indulge in secret affairs, away from prying eyes. Couples like Carolyn Warmus and Paul Solomon.
It was a secret because Paul Solomon was a married man, and he kept the affair quiet, obviously.
Paul doesn't know it yet, but there's no need for secrecy anymore. His marriage ended a half an hour before, in a hail of bullets. Every time a man leaves, she feels abandoned again. When Paul Solomon starts to pull away, she decides it's time to fight back.
When she found out that he wasn't going to divorce his wife, she felt that she had to take matters into her own hands, and she did.
It's a Sunday evening in 1989. Carolyn calls Paul Solomon and asks him to meet her at Treetops Lounge. His wife, Betty Jean, is home alone. Betty Jean has met Carolyn before, but this visit is a surprise. And so is the gun.
Now here's my chance to do what I want to do. I want Paul Solomon, and I'll take Betty Jean Solomon out to get him.
She shot Betty 9 times.
She wanted total destruction. She was in competition with Betty Jean, and she wanted her destroyed.
10 minutes later, Carolyn Warmus meets her lover. She's just fired 9 bullets into his wife.
She was calm because she's a sociopath. She had no guilt about what she did, and she wasn't particularly nervous at all about being caught.
At last, Carolyn has Paul to herself. She has fought for a married man and won. Now it's time to celebrate.
And they left together, and in the parking lot, they went to Carolyn Warmus's vehicle where they engaged in sex.
For Paul Solomon, the fun comes to a halt when he gets home. To Detective Constantino, Solomon is evasive.
Betty, come on.
But when he realizes he is a suspect in his wife's murder, he admits where he's been that night.
He admitted that he went to meet Carolyn Warmus at a place called Treetops Lounge in Yonkers.
Paul Solomon doesn't believe Carolyn killed his wife. Police are not so sure. After months of painstaking detective work, they connect her to the crime. She is convicted of second-degree murder. By this time, her man has turned against her.
And she was very bitter because Paul was supposed to stick beside her and be there with her. And he just refused.
The worst fear of Carolyn Warmus is to be abandoned and alone. But that is just where she finds herself today, in prison for 25 years. Sioux Falls, South Dakota, 2006. Detective Troy Duncan investigates the disappearance of a local deaf woman, Darlene Vandergiesen. But Darlene's disappearance has her family fearing the worst. Dee Vandergiesen welcomes a visit by her daughter's friends. One of them is Darlene's killer.
She embraced Darlene's mother. She said to her mother, "I know that your daughter is missing. I am praying for you. I pray for her safe return." She said these things to Dee Vandergiesen within hours of having dismembered Darlene's body and disposing of it in a dumpster.
The previous spring, the sun is shining in Sioux Falls. For Sally Collins and fellow deaf woman Daphne Wright, the world seems a happy place.
Sally was a friend of Daphne's, and she had moved in at the same time Daphne had in August the year before.
Their landlady, Jackie Chesmore, doesn't realize that Daphne and Sally are lovers. Deafness is the common bond that unites the couple. Local journalist Joss Vergis discovers that for Daphne, deafness has also been a barrier.
Daphne was the first deaf child born to hearing parents. Her father was an alcoholic. Her mother used limited signing to communicate with her and didn't really learn sign language until Daphne was in high school. So it was not a pleasant upbringing.
Daphne's childhood made her feel unwanted. It lays the foundation for a dangerous insecurity.
I think Daphne was on a path to explode one day on someone.
Over time, Daphne's demeanor changes. She becomes possessive, jealous, Sally gets a glimpse into her lover's dark heart. She doesn't like what lurks there.
Not long before the murder, Sally broke up with Daphne.
A month after their breakup, Daphne visits Sally at her new apartment. She wants to make amends. But there's a problem. Sally has a new friend, Darlene Vandergiesen.
She was a deaf woman. She lived alone. She was a very popular employee with her colleagues.
State's Attorney Dave Nelson would later prosecute Darlene's killer.
One of the tragic parts about this case is that so many of us who were involved in it never got a chance to meet Darlene because she sounds like she was really a remarkable woman.
She may have been remarkable, but to Daphne, she represents one thing: a threat.
Daphne Wright was wanting to reestablish the relationship with Sally Collins, and she believed Darlene Vandergiesen was a threat to being able to accomplish that. Got to a point where she felt that the only way she was going to be able to reestablish that relationship with Sally was to remove Darlene Vandergiesen from the picture.
A week earlier, she meets another deaf woman for a meal, Daphne Wright. Daphne has been trying to get back with her ex-girlfriend, Sally. And lately, Darlene seems to be in the way.
Daphne became jealous of the relationship between Sally and Darlene, and she took extraordinary steps to try to keep Darlene away from Sally Collins. She was motivated by jealousy.
But tonight, Daphne's jealousy seems forgotten.
Daphne Wright scheduled a meeting with Darlene Vandergiesen here in Sioux Falls to occur on February 1st. She did that ostensibly to meet Darlene to plan for a birthday celebration or a Valentine's celebration for Sally Collins. That was a charade. It was a pretense in order to get Darlene to come to the restaurant.
Darlene walks into a fatal trap.
No one really knows what's happened other than the two people involved, but police suspect that Daphne somehow forced Darlene into her truck and took her to her home, killed her somehow, and then the gruesomeness happened after that.
At the time of the murder, Daphne is living at Jackie Chesmore's house. One afternoon, she sees Daphne in the basement, dragging a large bundle.
And it looked like something was rolled up in there. And I looked down there, and my first thought was, what is this? And I almost went down there. I asked her if she needed help, and she immediately signed no, she needed no help, and signed me to go away.
Daphne doesn't dispose of the body right away. For 2 days, it lies in the basement. She's waiting for something.
The defendant was broke. She had no money. She received a government disability check, coincidentally, on February 3rd, that Friday.
So at that point, is when she finally had enough money to go out and purchase a chainsaw, $53 at the hardware store.
Now, Daphne can get to work.
Daphne could have taken the body to a ditch or a dumpster area, something. She chose to wait because she wanted to chop her up. Evidence of the intense rage within her.
Her weapon of choice splatters DNA clues from floor to ceiling. Clues she will try to hide. A week after the murder, police investigate threatening emails sent to Darlene before her death. They come from Daphne Wright's home.
Daphne Wright was questioned by law enforcement about a week after the disappearance of Darlene Vandergiesen. She told them a pack of lies.
In Daphne's basement, police find some grim evidence.
We found in the concrete floor what we thought were cut marks that could possibly come from a chainsaw.
They found fresh blue paint on the walls. It became clear that it was used to cover something up. They later figured out that there were tiny bits of Darlene's flesh in there, flesh and bone.
Chainsaws are rarely used in dismemberment cases. They may be popular in Hollywood movies, but in fact, in real life, they're not used very much. So when we do see it, it certainly makes big headlines and paints the murderer as particularly evil and gruesome.
Clues from the body and the crime scene prove Daphne Wright's guilt.
We had evidence of motive, we had evidence of opportunity, we had physical evidence, we had the defendant's own statements, we had DNA, we had a tidal wave of evidence against this defendant. Daphne Wright was convicted of 2 counts of murder in the first degree.
A deaf woman who had a difficult childhood. Daphne Wright killed to defend the only love she'd known. But when jealousy entered her heart, it clouded her vision.
She thought that Darlene Vandergiesen was out to destroy her relationship with Sally Collins. That was not true.
Darlene was heterosexual and known to date men. The motive for her murder was unfounded jealousy.
Darlene and Sally Collins had struck up a friendship. They obviously enjoyed playing cards together and doing things together, but we believe they were only friends.
There was no intimate relationship. It was all in Daphne's head. That tells me that Daphne had a very dark and dangerous rage growing inside her, probably for a long, long time.
For Daphne Wright, the guilty verdict means life behind bars.